It seems my superiority has caused controversy. If only they knew the extent I have endured to gain this position. That tyrant Maxon grew up in a place where he felt safe, secure, and loved. I grew up fighting to eat scraps left in the garbage, fighting my enemies in the battlefield and the podium to make sure our great community stays balanced. I've given myself up for the community at large, and for you. Your vote to me means continued prosperity, purity, and justice for all. Don't let these mongrels, especially that broad Jessica, batter pretty eyelids at you. The Fourth Reich is coming, and your vote matters to me. I'm Jism Reich, and I approve this message.
This is RPMMO Radio.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
A podcast all about role-playing and MMORPGs.
I like what you got. Good job.
With your hosts, Ashen Phoenix, Sid, Jazz, Strafe, and Kishmas.
Everybody off. We need to go on a quick adventure.
Hello, role players. This is RPMMO Radio, our 56th episode. Turtle Power. It's actually Turtling Power, but you gotta say it like the Ninja Turtles did.
That's right.
Got it.
Heroes in a half shell.
Turtle power.
Am I turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
Tonight I shall dine on turtle soup.
Ah, the classic lines are the best.
Old video game. I love that. That's if you could actually get to Shredder at the end of the arcade game. Boy, was that sucker hard. All right. So, appreciate everybody calling in. Wait, you're not calling in. But you can call in. rpmradio.com/Discord. But appreciate you tuning in. That too. Over at, let's see, what's this thing? Twitch.com/erper. Yeah. I guess that's how you... Is that how you... Do we still need to do the www dot? Is this 1999? Do we do that still? Guys? Anybody?
No.
No.
Okay, so join us over at https www Twitch TV ./tvcom.
Oh, look, our people are slowly dropping.
Yeah, I know. This is what it used to be like back when
12,
we were like growing up, though.
11. Yeah, just keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, well, it,
9.
funny enough, it goes down the faster you talk. Yeah, that's weird. So anyway, I'll be one of your hosts, Ashen Phoenix, and with us today is the full crew, Jazz, Kishmas, Sib, and the one, the only, the of the short haircut, Strafe.
Yay.
His hair used to be long, so that's if you didn't know that, that's joke was completely over your head and pointless. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said, twitch.tv/RPMRadio. We of course do that every Saturday at 7 Central Time live. You can actually call in if you got something that you want to say on the show that's pointed and actually revolves around roleplay or MMOs in general. Feel free to give us a call over at our Discord channel, rpmradio.com/Discord. Jump in our caller waiting room where our call screener, Rahanar, is in there waiting for you. Well, pardon me, while I adjust my butt in my seat. So, well, it's good to have everybody here. How's everybody doing? How's everybody have a good week?
Doing good. Almost don't know how to act. Full crew's here.
I know. Yeah. Kishmas is... After this robot sex doll thing last week, Kishmas, how did that go? Do you have any comments?
No.
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 No. Okay. Well. No.
No. I've no.
No.
What about that dungeon stay, man? That had been brutal.
Nah. Wasn't brutal.
What about the snorting the coke off the What was it?
The
Ashley?
abs of the Asian hookers.
Yeah. How was that?
No comment.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Man, this is really starting to sound like you're actually running for office. Let me guess. I just looked at the cocaine. I didn't inhale.
Something like
I
that.
used my tongue, actually.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
Little tongue action.
Yeah. Oh my. Hold on while I fix something real quick here.
Your camera's not working.
Yeah, apparently the camera didn't come on because it's dumb. There we go. Because this will help for the people on the podcast listening that you
Yeah,
couldn't
that-
see me, which is weird because usually you also still actually can't see me now.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there's my beautiful.
They totally missed
see-
you
guys
adjusting in your
you guys
chair.
like this new haircut here? Is it? This also works great for radio as well. By the way, I got a new haircut. It's very svelte.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And he doesn't tip. I'm just
No,
saying.
I don't tip.
He doesn't give the tip. Wow.
I give her just the tip.
Oh!
Dang. This show started off with.
That's right. So, real quick before we get into all the rest of this stuff, because that gaggle of people was a lot of fun to talk to. They weren't. Anyway, you can listen to us Apple Podcasts, iTunes, whatever they want to call it now, at Android Podcast app, Spotify, Podbean, whatever. Anywhere free podcasts are sold, you can tune in, listen to us. If you're listening to us live on Twitch, go ahead and give us a follow, subscribe if you want to. Throw hundreds of thousands of dollars our way, just as our Patreon donors have on their way to that. Which we appreciate all our Patreon donors, especially those at the raid boss level, like the Truth Bob.
Woo!
Which we do appreciate everybody that helps support the show. It goes towards a lot of little projects we still have going on. I know I keep saying that, but you have to realize something about this show. We're all exceptionally lazy
And broke.
and broke.
And broke. I'm glad you did that.
Don't forget the broke part.
I don't know if anybody's realized this, but we're gamers. We're not actually broke, but when you spend all of your money on gaming, it feels like it. Like
no,
if-
I'm really broke.
Yeah, but at your age, it's bound to happen. The warranty's worn out. Parts are starting to fall off. I mean, I saw
no.
Jay the other day. He was out there kicking the tires on a new model. I don't know.
Oh, man.
I mean, when he was laying in the gurney.
Crying in pain and agony
Yeah.
while something the size
Yeah.
of what felt like Mount Rushmore was going through his pee hole. Yeah, when he was doing that. That nurse was pretty good
Why?
looking despite.
Kidney stones. The wonder
Yeah.
that keeps on burning.
I've never had
I
one.
think
And I think
he's
I never want one.
finally,
They're
he's
horrifying.
finally had enough of them that he's decided maybe he's going to drink more water and eat better. So,
I always thought you were going to go with the eunuch route, that he was just going to cut out the problem.
Uniki, snip, snip.
that doesn't change kidney stones.
It's less for it to go through?
No.
I like the way my science works better.
Your biology is flawed.
Your biology's flawed. Like, I'm going to take the word of something that bleeds for 7 days out of the month
Oh,
and doesn't die.
well, you are just trying to start something tonight.
He is. That ought to make me more believable, actually, because I'm obviously stronger than you.
I can bleed.
For a
Dang.
week?
I can. I mean, I'm not going to survive it, but I just finally embraced the sweet, sweet release of death. At least I don't have to pay taxes. Am I right?
Win the game, as according to Wolf.
That's right. So, yes, thank you all our Patreon donors. We do appreciate everybody that donates to the show. I know, like we say, we're gamers too. We all have jobs. We all have those horrible, horrible family things, children, and all that bullshit you thought was going to be cool when you were like
We need
10.
social structures anyway.
Bills, cars.
Kishmas,
Insurance.
down with the patriarchy. Am I right?
Taxes.
No,
We
yeah,
wouldn't have
no.
these problems
No.
if we just let
Blow
Live in
women.
off.
matriarchy.
If we
Winner
let women
takes
rule
over.
everything and then I could stay home and be mommy homemaker. Wait. You know what?
And
I'm willing
you'd
to go
last-
with it. Oh, no, I would be great at it. The kids would just be like when I was a kid. Go outside, don't come back in until after it's 4.
Or be like Cliff Huxtable and give him like chocolate cake for breakfast, because technically eggs are in the cake.
There you go. I like that.
I don't know if I want to go at this point anything that Cliff Huxtable did.
Well,
I
true.
know.
I'm just saying.
Why does this taste funny? Don't worry, just keep drinking.
Oh,
Oh, that was bad.
Here's-
Funny, but bad.
Here's my friend, Michael Jackson. Keep drinking, little guy.
God. Oh, no.
Or even worse. Can somebody tell me where the Jello pudding is? Blah.
But Ashen, it's magic water.
It's
Just drink
magic.
it.
It's Jesus juice.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh.
Anybody got any
Dude,
of the
no.
Jesus juice? Oh, it's so magical. Oh, my head is so lightheaded. Oh, dancing on a cloud. Oh, it's amazing.
Well, we've gone to complete bad place on this episode already.
Oh,
goodness
we're already
gracious.
there. We're
Have
just-
we? That's what
Hop
happens when all 5
aboard
of
the
us are here.
crazy train.
It's a short trip.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't. Yunfei, you can't ban me. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Oh.
The
So
sad thing is that he's in control.
I am in control of all that you see and hear. I control the vertical. I control the lateral. That was incredibly loud.
What was that?
That was my straw.
That was her straw.
I got his attention though.
Yeah, you did.
All right, what have we been doing? Role play. Okay, so I think that's all. Like I said, Truth Bob, you still the man. Everybody else, we also appreciate everything you guys do to our amazing listeners. What's wrong with you? Why are you even here? I mean, sweet Jesus, did you just listen to the last 5 minutes? Seriously, go see, I don't know, Mamma Mia 2, How I Got My Groove Back Again, or whatever a stupid ass
Mamma
movie
Mia
was.
2, Electric Boogaloo.
Ugh. My family was promiscuous, and now so am I. Ha!
What's running the family?
So I can't help that it's a musical, and so it already made it. It's already awful. Also, it had Cher in it. She's just the worst.
They wheeled that vampire out.
Just like J-Lo, they don't know how to act, but they know how to sing.
Yeah.
what I wanna know?
yeah.
You know what I want to know? I want to know how you know so much about the show.
I
Did you
saw
watch
the
it?
because
Did
it
you
was in
watch it?
every freaking preview of the 5,000 movies you and I go to see. It was ridiculous.
Sounds like something you'd say.
Oh yeah. So does that mean you've seen what's that stupid Fallout that just came out for the Mission Impossible that we also saw 400 billion trillion times before
Somebody
every
is
goddamn
really
movie?
Really defensive right now.
Oh my god, I was so tired. She cannot even play. That Mission Impossible trailer at the beginning of every movie we saw for 5 months, we could quote it. We had seen it so many times.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the worst. I've heard it's actually really good, and I actually kind of want to see it though.
They're really pushing that promo to get that money back.
Yeah, but it was really good actually. So
That's what I've heard. Yeah,
I heard it's
I haven't
really
seen
good.
it.
I had the guy at my funeral home be like, "Did you go see Mission Impossible?" I'm like, "I'm not really a huge fan of that series. You should definitely go see it." And he's like a huge Star Wars guy too. It's a little creepy to talk nerd stuff in the middle of a funeral home, especially when
I can imagine.
Especially when I just had him sign for the cremated remains of somebody's loved one, which, yes, does happen. We do send dead people through the mail.
Yep.
But he liked Solo too, so I was all right with him. We didn't understand the controversy. So anyway, what have we been doing in role play? We need to figure out we got all of us here, so clearly we got to figure out who's going to go first. Vote of silent hands. Let's go with the first one on the list. Is it Kishmas? Okay, no hands for Kishmas. How about Sib? Okay, what about me?
Nope, nothing. Sorry.
No. Okay. What Straffe? What if we had him? No, nobody. Okay.
No.
Looking out at the audience, I guess Jazz is it? Oh, whoa, wow, holy shit! The whole
Look at all
everybody,
those
all
hands.
13 viewers, and one guy from over in a Fortnite channel. I don't know how he got in here.
Get out of here.
Alright.
Nobody likes you.
Go talk to your parents about how boring your game is. Actually, it's
Go
kind of a
parachute
fun.
into a lava pit.
It is kind of a fun game, but I
Oh,
suck
Jess,
at them.
Sounds like you're gonna be the winner.
Yeah, sorry, Jess. The people
Shocking.
have voted, just as they will for
Yeah.
president.
This is democracy, Jazz. Get used to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This
This doesn't
is-
feel much like a democracy at the moment.
Well, it's new democracy. We're gonna call it diet democracy,
Diet
call it?
democracy.
Tradition democracy.
traditional democracy.
Yeah.
A tradocracy.
Tradocracy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is tradocracy here, Jazz.
Okay.
You don't mess with this
Noted.
tradocracy.
Okay.
I can't even say it.
Tradocracy.
Tradocracy.
You can't say it, can you?
No,
Nope.
I can't.
Say it one more time.
Tradocracy.
No, you can say it. She can't. No, you don't count, Jess. You don't count because it's not funny when you do it right.
Oh.
Come on, Sib.
No.
Come on. Come on, girl. Come on. You can do it. Come on, girl. Come on.
Ooh,
Come on, girl.
Dang.
You can do it.
throw at him. Tradocracy. I like how
I like how it came out.
Turdocracy.
Turdocracy.
Like a turd.
Turducken.
Turdocracy.
It's like the sequel to Idiocracy. It's Turdocracy.
That's the southern way to say it.
That sounds obviously pretty accurate. Turdocracy.
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 I tell you what, man, a dang old turdocracy there,
That's
man.
right.
Get
That
the job
dang on
done.
Turdocracy. I didn't vote for him.
No, I didn't either. Eat yet?
All right, Jazz. What'd you do in roleplay? I guess that's the subject of this whole thing.
Well, I had a truly horrible week, and I really didn't
sorry.
RP that much. I spent most of my week kind of running for cover and keeping it pretty casual. I know I did something for poetry, but I don't remember. So I will tell you
Might
about.
have wrote about dying and, well, not dying. With
Yes,
Author.
Cial wrote and acted out a poem about her terribleness of her last couple of months. I was gonna tell the story, and I wrote it out already, but then I realized that it's going to be rather graphic, and I decided that probably wouldn't be appropriate. So I'm just going to. I wrote a short blip in here summarizing it, and I know we were going to do stories, but I'm just going to summarize because I enjoy dark graphic RP, but I know a lot of people do not. And I don't want to trigger our audience. So, Cial, as I've mentioned before, was attacked and badly wounded and has been kind of gradually healing and making her way back. She had a moment of clarity this week and remembered some of the terribleness of what had happened to her, flipped out, went minorly feral, and ran off. Now, sneaky Trithalis had implanted a rune on her crutches so that he could keep track of her should she do exactly what she did, which was run off. So he scried where she was, sent the location to Sejoris and Rufus, and sent them to track her down. They found her. This was done in RP. There was a scuffle and some actual unhappy Cial moments.
There was a dance of joy.
And then at the end, there was a dance of joy because after turning into a werewolf and attacking her mate, who also turned into a werewolf, they did manage to subdue her and get her back home, where she has been recouping from her minor mental breakdown. And then she decided that she was ready to come back out into the world. She went to go see Trithalis, who immediately started poking her about the fact she was still on crutches. Because by now she shouldn't be, and Kia can't really find a reason for why she's in pain or why she can't walk. And Trithalis took it on himself to basically say, there's nothing wrong with you. It's all in your head, and started basically calling her weak and just basically trying to anger her, which he did spectacularly. And she decided that after he noted she was still refusing to walk and claiming she could not walk without pain on her right side, Trath goaded her into a confrontation, both verbal and physical. And she flew at him with intent to harm and daggers out. And thankfully, due to my terrible traditional roles, and Trath's wonderful traditional roles, she did not harm him, and he managed to put her into the water rather than get hurt. And she came to realize that her legs were fine and she didn't hurt anymore. So she went home to figure that out.
Was rather genius what he did to finally
It
get her
was.
to snap out of it.
Yep. She was not imagining it, but her own inner turmoil was causing physical manifestation of pain. Zasher's the only other one that I role-played with this week, and he saw his friend promoted and interacted with people within his guild, and there really wasn't a whole lot that happened on that end. So we'll leave that alone, and that's it for me.
Woo!
Whee!
Woo! You're muted, woman. You're still. Yeah,
I say we'll hope this next week is better.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sure it will be. I will have sleep. I won't be late to work, and my husband will not have a kidney stone.
Mm-hmm. He better not. Otherwise, you're gonna need to get him traded in for a new model too.
Yeah, he's
Maybe
hopefully on the mend.
maybe something in the Mediterranean. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Maybe something a little younger, a little
Yes.
sportier.
I do like younger men.
No.
Someone say younger man.
Where's
Yeah.
the cougar growl?
No, we said yeah, but we said
With
man.
a cougar roar, he yelled more and more. Saying,
All
Got that
right.
orange vest on, ready to hunt.
All right, Sib, what have you got?
Oh, I didn't realize I was going to be next.
Well, that's why you should always expect the Spanish Inquisition.
Okay, I am going to brief a story that I wrote for. I don't really want to read the whole thing because it seems like it will take forever for me to read it. But basically, Vuli, my orc, and her self-proclaimed mate, Trithalis, got into a huge argument, and she's just a huge hothead. But she doesn't like people telling her she's beautiful, of course, because she's an orc. She's heard people, say she's a pig nose and all kinds of bad things. And she just has never, and her backstory, when she was a child, she was teased because when I created her, she's an albino orc. She's white. She's got white hair. She's got white, silvery eyes. And she was born to the wise woman of the tribe. And so she just looks different. And she's always been told she was different. She's always been teased for being different. She was really ridiculed when she was little. And it turned out she had a lot of problems with others her age in her tribe. And one of her brothers, because the chieftain of the tribe is the only one able to sire children, but his favorite son was really picking on her and threatening her, and she managed to lead him and his friends into one of their traps, and he got hurt really badly. So it's just always been a really bad thing for people to say she's pretty, and she's always felt like it was a curse. So anyway, Trithalis, being the gentleman he is always telling her how beautiful she is and how stunning she is. And it finally exploded, and she was so mad. Anyway, it caused a huge fight, and she stormed off and went to the tavern and had a few too many drinks. And while she was at the tavern, she was chatting to the barkeep, because the tavern is close to where her home is. And he's seen her there since she had, for the last several years, and he's never had any problems with her. Always thought she was really, low key, for an orc. He always noticed how different she was, but he's never said anything to her about it. But he fed her mead until she had her fill, and she was good and drunk, and so she staggered out of the bar, not realizing that 3 people were watching her. And they followed her. And about halfway to her home, they kind of ambushed her and were like, "Are you really an orc?" And because he does look so different, and she's like, told him, she said, "I'm not in the mood. Walk away now." And of course, they didn't because they're bigger than her. But luckily, she's been having hand-to-hand combat lessons with her mentor, Caves, who is an Argonian that has taught her to kick butt. And there was a large scuffle, and she ended up knocking one of them in the stomach. And another one, she face palmed to the nose. The third guy grabbed her arm and ended up stabbing her in her side. And so that just sobered her really quick and pissed her off instantly. And she chased the two that were still standing till she couldn't chase them anymore because she felt kind of queasy from the blood loss and the drinking. And so then she threw up everything she had in her and staggered home. Anyway, her mom, who is actually her adopted mom, came over and kind of bandaged her up, but she told her cook to tell Voli that she wasn't going to heal the wound completely because she thought she needed to learn from it. So Voli, thinking that she was going to be healed, woke up and she was in so much pain and she was pissed. So she was just angry the whole day and mad at everybody and just stomped around and was blaming it on Trithalis because he's the one that started it all. And so that was my story for the role play. And I'll have Ashen actually post the story, so on the webpage. So if anybody's interested in reading it, they can.
I don't want to. It sounds like work.
Yes.
Hey, how's the dogs, Jess?
Oh, shut up.
All right, so going down the list here, Strafai.
Strafe time, eh?
Strafai. What'd you have, brother?
I had a pretty busy week. Got the tail end of her story. She didn't finish out, but I'll go ahead and read what happened with Kizdian this week.
Mm-hmm.
Just when you think things have settled into a predictable routine, I go and win a duel against a fellow recruit some weeks back. I double-checked on him, as he is a halalu and all. Aside from that, I find myself no longer on longer and longer patrols. I suspect my higher-ups dislike my mouth greatly and generally. That, of course, is by design. Rather the top brass hate you than give you a false sense of camaraderie. That's how a Dunmer is knifed in the back. No matter, I enjoy an honest ire. Speaking of ire, Zaz finally got his wish and set up a double date with the ever-so-luscious Tarvala and the angry Princess Knight. Princess. I like that. Fits her well. In any event, the fetcher beat me to the dinner. And this grin setting amongst two beautiful Dunmer ladies was the height of obnoxiousness. He really was trying hard, poor sap. But the dinner was grand, the conversation was fun, and the princess still hates me. To that note, later in the evening, I must have let slip something that caught her interest. As after the dinner, she invited me over to for a little chat in her little barrack. That, or she was saving my worthless hide from the high silver hats demoting and shaming the woman Saren. The conversation was plain, and I have a new view of little Princess Knight. Even if she is taken, one cannot be faulted for tempting her with a younger Mer. That, of course, is where the fun ended. After the following day's boot, I was summoned to the main chapel, where I was clad and encased in my new prison, Ordinator Initiate armor. It was rather unexpected, but I suppose I impressed someone, somewhere, enough to push through my rank change. And then the mask came on. A fitting gilded prison for a former gold-seeking highwaymer. I suppose this makes me respectable now. Oblivion forbid. And that was my Dunmer's RP for the week. As for Trath, what a time it has been. I've spent time this week on one extreme and then the other. I had not seen Voli in several days, so I took it upon myself to visit some of her known haunts, As luck would have it, I found her in Lord Cave's at the Riften pub. That is, of course, where the luck ran out. She remained incensed, stubborn, and looked to have already been in several tavern brawls. I did attempt to apologize, to my credit, but she was not having it, resorting to insult and the like. It was only when she attempted to run away that I called her a coward for doing so. This ended, as you well imagine, disastrously. She struck me solidly in the mouth, and then the gut, but I did not react. Only Lord Caves stepping in and breaking up the scene changed the current hostilities. I had hoped she would burn out her wrath and see reason, but that did not come to pass until days later. I lamented on the exchange for days and regretted the insult immediately. But such was cold comfort. Poetry hour again passed without her presence, but all attendees did well, if not rather long-winded at times. Yes, I'm looking at you, Lord Imperial. At the end of the night, I was surprised by a lingering guest, Lady Ashcroft, no less. She is in fact a vampire, and I remain dubious of her intent. Hanging around, staring at me, making small conversations while all the other guests had left. I attempted to clean the bar and asked her a few things, hoping she would leave and catch the hint. But it was only when Volie strode in, stomped her foot and announced her presence, and eyed the situation with much ire, that the Lady Ashcroft of the Vampiric Order decided to bugger off completely. We had a heart-to-heart talk, which ended with us understanding each other deeper. Anything more would be telling. And that was my RP for the week. It was full. It was crazy. I had a lot of fun.
What else did they do?
That, my friend, would be telling.
But I want to hear about it.
No.
Is there a story about it somewhere?
No.
Should there be?
A proper mer never kisses and tells, sir.
All right. Well,
Okay.
if you want to see the rest of the rest of that, go to Pornhub.com.
Oh gosh.
And look up Orc on High Elf Action. I'm sure something will come up.
Oh gosh.
I only assume. I bet you there's got to be a picture out there somewhere.
That
Whatever
would be
you
telling.
do, don't look up anything with Harry Potter in it, though.
Oh gosh,
Good God.
no.
Good God, no.
Ever.
So,
And
all
say,
right.
we could actually give a shout out to Jazz's website where she puts all her writings.
Yeah, but I don't like jazz very much.
Oh,
She's so
dang.
jazzy.
Yeah, you should do that. I don't remember. I don't know what it is, though. I know it's on Engine.
Shadow and Dreams at engine.com.
At engine.com. See, that's the part that always gets me. I never know. Some of these damn things. Guys, pick one. Either it goes before it or it goes after it. You know, pick one, okay? Just pick one. Collectively. Kishmas, I'm looking at you. You do... You work at Best Buy. Don't you have Best Buy powers or something?
Nope.
Oh.
So it's not Best Buy, it's Goodbye.
It's Goodbye.
Goodbye. I like that.
It's okay buy. It's reasonable
It's meh
buy. It's some things are not as expensive as the others on the internet, and some of them are.
Some of these things are not like the other. Sorry.
No, go for it, girl.
Yeah, rock that shit. Yeah, all right.
You are such a turd tonight.
You know what? I'll be honest, I would actually love to hear a rock version of that old song.
Yeah, seriously.
I think they have one. Actually.
I would bet you there has to be. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to find that if it exists, just because I think
does
that would be
exist.
hysterical.
I just can't think of the band name. I've heard
No. So, all right, Kishmas, what you got, brother?
It's been a pretty good week for me. Rashir's been doing Amalexia's work in various places, including Skyrim. He's been tracking down a serial killer whose code name is Zero. Don't ask how I got that. It's just what that's why I put down. First thing that come to my mind. And he's been kind of on the down low, not really being high profile. He's met with, he didn't meet with someone. He actually found a Pact intelligence operative, and there's like, maybe we should start working together. Raj was kind of just reluctant to do that. But it all worked out in the end, and I have him on my friends list, and we're gonna start doing that RP more and more often. Guild wise, I've kind of just been in and out, not really doing much of the way of events.
Yeah,
because I've been kind of, again, low profile. Still getting out of this burnout, which has been actually going away relatively easily. You know, kind of expanding out, giving me new ideas to come up with.
I did enjoy you stopping by the Riften pub and meeting our mains. Just saying, that was a really fun night.
It was fun.
And you know, the whole puking when Trath leaned over and kissed an orc.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
It was so funny because Wooly was hitting on him, but she goes, "It's okay. I've already got a dark elf lover."
She does.
Oh man, that's heresy, but okay.
Well, to hear Nyx tell it, yeah, it's not. It's
Hey, from the necks down, the bodies, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just as long as there's a bag over it, you can look at the rest.
Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to.
Anyway,
it's all fun and games for the tusk creep out of the bag.
He's been in conjunction with trying to find the serial killer. He's been raiding homes of suspects, and he actually did a mass execution publicly recently to show for us that, hey, don't break the law, idiots, or this will happen to you. Well, that's pretty much been my week.
Yeah,
that sounds cool.
No, I'm glad you're kind of starting to get over your funk since you stepped down as the big head cheese and all that. I have noticed you may not be around certain things more as often, but you're around more often. I've noticed.
Yeah. I'm seeing your presence more on the servants chat, and my heart is always warm when I see hippity hoppity and that line is finished.
Dunmer, or no, not Dunmer. No. We're going into Dunmer property.
Good stuff.
So funny.
Well, it's not funny because it's true.
The truth has no humor in it. Ever. So, all right. Well, for me, I don't have anything written out all like that because I was the lazy one this week. So I'll do my best. But I really only had about two things. One of them, I did training on Monday for the ordinators. Now that she's a high ordinator, and the person that usually does it is actually out on Mondays now. I think they're Ivul is who usually does it, who's in our guild, but they're I think practicing for or rehearsing for a play or something every Monday, and they don't get done until is practically over. So I've volunteered as tribute. So what I did was Tarvala had everybody, all the ordinators gathered up, and we did a exercise in defense and attack. Inside of the abbey, there's an entryway. There's two large doors, then a small courtyard, and then a set of stairs that lead up to a main courtyard. So what was going to happen is the scenario was that the doors have already been breached and blown off. Largely that was because it's two separate zones, and going in between two of them and coordinating that is a fucking nightmare and not really worth doing. So what we did is we split up into two groups. One of 5 was attackers. The other of 5 was defenders. And the way to win this particular thing was to go 3 rounds. And I'm going to go into... I'm not telling this one so much in story form as I am going to focus on the mechanics of it as well, because I think it worked out very well, if I do say so myself. So everybody, obviously, they basically did their alphabetical order attacks. I just divided it up by... halfway, the first 5 names, they're on one team. The last 5 names, they're on another. So I knew when I was coordinating the entire attack, I could just bounce back and forth between the two of them. And everybody rolled, what their attack was. If it was a 10 or above, they would get a hit. If it was below that, they wouldn't. Unfortunately, the attacking team, from the very get-go, I don't think the first 5 of them didn't roll, I think, above an 8. So it wasn't going off very well. The defenders were very well coordinated. And then what I would do, we went through 3 rounds of this, and in between, I would say how each group attacked the other in defense, or there were some pretty creative uses of magic and things like that. I will say the attacking group, for having their parameters for winning, was breaking through the line in one of their groups, slapping the edge of a fountain about midway through the other one, or through the courtyard. And the defenders had to, quote unquote, defend until time ran out, which time ran out based on the rolls. So the way the ultimate winner was determined was over the 3 rounds. I added up everybody's rolls on both sides. Whichever side had the highest had the highest point count, because it was 50, 5-on-5 was the winner, and the defenders won. So it ended basically as time ran out. Now, if it had gone the attacker's way, one of them would have broken through and slapped the fountain and won the day. But unfortunately, like I said, the attackers, they did really bad, then really knocked it out of the park, gained some ground, and then did really, really awful again. So it went really bad. But that's just the way, it really could have gone either way. I think everyone had a good deal of fun. It got to a late start because of other RP stuff that was going on, but I enjoyed it. I think it seems like it's a system that will work out very well, and I can also just reuse it in different parts of the Abbey, or our guild hall, basically, to defend. If attackers were breached this far in, how would you defend against it? This and that. It's a fun little tactical exercise. I'm hoping next time. I didn't get to do it this time, but there would be bonuses as well, depending on the strategy. I was originally going to have each team come up with a strategy, and whichever one, some of the officers all agreed was kind of the better strategy would get a couple extra points added onto their end score. It may make the difference, it may not. It's just some strategies do. But unfortunately, with the time constraints and getting started half hour late, I kind of shortened it up and kept it going. The second thing I did was Stinging Wasps, which was ran by another player, Malel, in the guild. It was unfortunate, almost nobody showed. It was me, him, and then the two other people, which were friends of his. But for some reason, that Wednesday night, man, it happens, and it's
Tuesday night.
Was it Tuesday night?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's Tuesday night, so it just happens. For some reason, there was just other stuff. Other people had already started doing other things, and
I know
nobody showed up.
Jazz,
right,
Shifei, and me are all in the guild.
Yeah, you're in the other guild.
I had planned on going.
Yeah, but there was.
We also, that's one of our Alanu guild nights.
Yeah, but there were still.
But
there were still 20 other people on top of the 3 of you in the guild at that time. I get it.
I will say that's hard to be in 2 guilds, especially when
you got to pick and choose.
You have set nights for main guild events, and it's hard to. There's sometimes I'm like, I'm torn. I want to
do both. You just got to pick one. Yeah, but that's part of having 2 guilds, and that I got.
If the poetry night is like a flub, no one shows up, I log over to Kizdian, and I'm like, dude, we're going to hang out in the servants tonight.
Yeah, and that's cool. But, that's the thing. You guys also have other guilds. A lot of the others, they just... one of them I knew that was... they had something else, it was between the Truth Bob on Dravis and in another one that's coming up in the ranks, Dawn, but they had coordinated just a special event between them for his mastery, which you have to kind of do those when the scheduling, allows for it. You just got to do it when you can do it. The rest of them, I don't know. It's just, it was a bummer, and I felt bad for, like I said, I felt bad for the guy, and I told him, he was like, maybe I should cancel it, and this is one of those kind of teaching moments where or not really teaching moment, but just sympathetic, because I was like, man, if you've put a lot of work into it, and you don't want to do this for just, yourself and 3 other people, I totally get that, and you can postpone it. But it's up to you. I'm good either way. I'm here now, so I'll run it. I'll help you run it either way. Or I wasn't running it. Technically, in character, my character was running it, but he was the DM. He was the master, dungeon mastering the whole story. But he's like, screw it. Let's just go ahead and do it. So we did it. It was actually a great deal of fun. They were after Argonians, of course, evil Argonian property. But they had come up on their camp. I'll give the quick, dirty version of it. And they had found a tent outside with a bedroll, and they snuck up on it. There was no one inside. One of the others, I believe it was Aaron or Rhodos, I don't remember who. Like you hardly know who they are, but they found an Argonian relieving himself. He saw them. So we tried to use Earth Magic, as he was running away. I rolled a 20, so that basically buried him up to his neck. And Tarval had gone over to him and said, this goes really only one way. Where are your people at, and how many are there? And he answered and pointed him to a secret door that was kind of hidden behind him, and told him there were many, because I assumed Argonians can't count. I mean, right? It's a lesser species. Am I right, guys?
You're wrong.
So as
Games would argue different.
As reward, she just ordered him to be killed outright without leaving him there, just because it's not worth him. He's not worth it. And they had a mission to do. So she removed some chimes that was on the door, because that was their big security feature, because Argonians. They went in, kind of cloaked themselves up with some scrolls and some muffling. They ran into one guard. Unfortunately, the roll went low, so the guard, the attacker Aaron missed the attack. He rolled real low, so he also got poisoned unbeknownst to him until much later. So we dispatched that one. Came into a cavern with a whole bunch of the stolen goods with different Dunmer houses stamped on the sides, and some of their wasp templates, because they are always, like all good bandits, they have to mark what they do. Otherwise, you don't know that they're doing it, right? It's not how terrorism works. It's not, you don't really know who's doing it. It's not really terror. So then they found that, then went to a giant underground cavern that had a long waterfall. They saw two Argonians taking crates through the waterfall and leaving only 3 left. Good luck. And so they went in there and attacked the 3, killing them pretty quickly and dispatching them. And then they went to either side of the waterfall and kind of waited to see if those guys would return. After 5 minutes, they didn't. So they rushed in and found out that it was actually led to a deep underground reservoir and probably a long underwater tunnel, which in character, we tried to see if we could follow, but none of the others knew the breathing water spells or things like that. And OOCI so is like, this is where it's supposed to end, right? Because I don't want to follow and be like 8 years later they come out the other side, and that was where it was ending. So they went back out. They were taking all the things back to the abbey, and that's when they realized Aaron had gotten poisoned, because he started talking like a crazy person, as poisoned people tend to do. And so they ordered him back and got him fixed up. And it was a good, fun event. I'm glad I wish more people had been there for it, because it really was a lot of fun. And I think he scaled it down just because there was only 4, because he had said earlier he'd really made it for a large group of people. But I'll give it to them. They, when you kind of work with what you got. If you need to scale something down a little bit, you can scale it down. If you end up having 5 billion people there, scale it up. It's one of the ebbs and flows of when you run a role play event for people. You never know what people have going on, never know what's going to happen. So, but it was a lot of fun. I had a good week. Also played a lot of Evil Within 2. Very scary game. I love it. It has nothing to do with role play, just a good game.
Nice.
He made me put a little lamp on my table so he can have lights
Scary
off in the
games are
office.
better played in the dark. You can't play a game
True.
like that when you got the
He
4
didn't
light.
make me. He was
you
like, "What are
actually
you
did that,
doing?" And I said, "I'm letting you have it dark in here." So I put a little bitty lamp on my computer desk, so he could have it dark.
It was awesome.
There's nothing like playing Alien Isolation in the dark with your headset on. And
Oh,
you're
yeah.
you got the mic plugged in, and you're talking, and the bug starts flying. Oh, dude, it's terrifying.
Oh yeah, this and Evil Within 2. I think what I finally pinpointed why I'm really digging on this one. It's a Bethesda game. It reminds me a lot of what it felt like when I played the old Resident Evil games, like Resident Evil 2 back in the late 90s. That's what it feels like to me. Obviously, much prettier.
Dude, Resident Evil 2 and 3 were pretty outstanding, and then everything.
Have you seen the videos for the Resident Evil 2 remake?
I know.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, they're remaking it fully. It's like in the
buddy.
modern,
Leon S. Kennedy Epic.
And well, yeah, it's they're doing it in the vein of like what they did with Resident Evil 4 and the other ones, but it's literally recreating everything from RE2, including the diverging plot story with him and then Claire on the other side. It looks fantastic.
Excellent.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to it.
Well, then I'm looking forward to the remake of number 3 with Jill, where you have a freaking stalker like Jason chasing you.
Yeah.
That was great.
Stars.
I did watch the trailer for Doom Infinite, and oh my goodness, bro.
Oh yeah, that looks
I'm ready
good.
for that.
I bought that on a Steam sale here recently, the original Doom. I've not played it yet. It's been on my to-do list backlog.
It's good.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy
Boy,
it.
we have so many to-do lists.
I know. And on top of that, I got Lego Voltron.
Yes, he did.
It's so cool. See the little... I got him right here if you guys can on the camera.
You
There's
need
the
to-
yellow lion right there.
You need to put the pictures up on
Yeah, right there.
the
That thing is
Discord.
massive. It took me 2 hours to make one lion. I've only got 4 to go.
Dude, I just saw on the Twitch channel. That is epic.
It reminds me of the toys I had when I was a kid. I had the obviously, of course, I had the Voltron, just the toys back in the 80s and 90s, and it's Legos, but it's the exact same size, and it transforms just like those did, so that you can make Voltron out of Legos. It's so cool. But again, has nothing to do with roleplay. This was brought to you by nerds. Nerds.
I was going to say, did we miss our ad? But we're just now finishing up roleplay.
Yeah, we're about on
Okay.
schedule.
Okay.
So, all right. With that, actually, let's go ahead and go to our ad for I don't know, something different. I mean, I think this is a cause we can all get behind, really. So we'll go ahead and get this started here. Hi, I'm international education D-list movie star Ted McPowers. You might remember me from such educational films as Bullies, Just Give 'Em One They Want and They'll Go Away, or Cooties, The Silent Killer. Here to promote my latest work, Turtling. If they don't know you exist, they won't hurt you. Every year, millions of children around the world are noticed for being too thin or too fat, too tall, too short, too ugly, too pretty. I know what that feels like. For having big ears, for having mangy teeth, or just not knowing how deodorant works. With this new series of videos, these potential losers will learn how to make themselves small and unseen by anyone. Teaching them my patented turtling technique, they'll never be noticed and breeze through their formidable years without making any waves, influences, or effects on the environments around them. Purchase my video series now for your local school and be entered into a raffle to have me, Ted McPowers, perform live at your local school for only $1,000 plus travel expenses. The kiddies will love it, and so will you. And with every purchase, you get a free copy of my 20-page pamphlet book, You Aren't a Loser, You're Just Not Cool. An operator is standing by to take your orders now. Mom! Stay off the phone! Stay off the phone! People are gonna call! Yeah, to make money! Yeah! No, I don't want any fish sticks! Just stay off the phone! Huh. Well, operator is standing by, so, give them a call. That's one of our advertisements.
Oh
They
my
pay to be
gosh.
here.
You gotta love those B-list actors, man. They never go away.
Yeah,
Do we get like a percentage of that?
Oh, yeah, we get a percentage of the educational tapes. I'm pretty sure we don't get anything if they actually win the quote-unquote raffle.
Oh, I'm good with that. I just want to know if
Yeah.
we get a percentage of that $1,000.
No, that's what I'm saying. You get to enter the raffle, and if you get picked, which I actually hear is, oddly enough, everybody gets picked in this raffle. That you are then selected to pay him $1,000 to have him come to the school.
okay.
But this is separate from from buying the educational tapes themselves, and that's the only thing we get a portion of the profit from.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying it was the greatest deal, but I don't know if anybody's noticed. This is why we're largely funded by Patreon.
I was about to say, I'm not going for it, Ash and
A
Solo.
lot of our advertisement people, I'm just saying, if the checks could bounce any higher, we would be extra solar. Like, literally, they just bounce right out of the fucking solar system. They'd be like, oh yeah, hey Pluto. Woo. Yeah.
Just hi.
Yeah, it's just, we're just that quality of show. We have D-list actor, Tim McPowers. You don't see Joe Rogan having Tim McPowers on, do you? No. That's right. Joe Rogan, star of things that he has done where he played dumb
Fear
people.
Factor.
What?
Fear Factor.
Fear Factor. Yeah.
I don't remember that show.
I remember that show.
What else has he been in?
Fear Factor.
The only reason I remember that show is because they put people in a box with snakes, and I would be like, I would die.
Really, you don't remember them eating cow balls? That's the one that really sticks out to me. Big, juicy cow balls.
No.
Were they cooked?
That's adorable that you'd think that they would cook something on that show.
The box full of roaches. That was no.
What about the 100-year-old egg that was black?
Oh yeah, no. That's no.
That's supposed to be a delicacy, though.
It's supposed to be a delicacy. They all pretty much threw up.
Yeah.
Is it really a delicacy if you make your people vomit? I submit that it is not. So,
Maybe
all
it
right.
wasn't cooked right.
Maybe.
I know, it's not cooked.
More like a delicacy disaster.
Yeah.
Bless your heart. So, all right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and hit our main topic here, which is turtling, brought to you in part by Strafe. Strafe for all your car cleaning needs. I don't know. That's all I could think of off the top of my head. If you want to, if any part of this you guys want to call in, feel free, over at our Discord, rpmradio.com/Discord. Throw yourself in our caller waiting room. Rahanars are standing by. Because he's in there. And he'll make sure that all your shit works, and then we'll bring you on the show.
Then they're lurking just for you.
That's right. Like some sort of creepy lurker guy that lurks. He's listening right now. That's why I have to continue saying this stuff.
The roleplay turtling. What is it? How does it happen? Well, it happens when you allow yourself to become insulated with a small group of role players and never branch out to others in the community.
Interesting.
You guys ever
Tell
see
me more.
This happen?
Have we ever? Wow. 1950 called. They want their skit back, Sib.
Hey. You're being extra mean to me tonight.
Hey. Listen.
Hey.
I'm stealing Kishmas's thing.
Hey.
You gotta do it right. Listen.
No, you listen, Strafe.
I've been covering you for weeks, bro. Take it away.
He actually has got a pretty good listen impersonation of you going. I have to say, it's very impressive.
Well, I'm going to take this to a claims court.
Uh-oh.
Good luck getting me out of Texas, bro.
What are you gonna copyright listen just like Trump did? You're fired. Is that what you're gonna do?
Yep.
Listen. You know what? I think Navi already beat you to that.
She did. That's true.
Hey, listen.
Ocarina of Time. Really taking it back.
I will kill you, little fairy, and everything you hold dear in this world.
Hasn't everyone chased her around trying to hit her with the sword?
Oh my god. It's such a great game if they just removed Navi. Oh, so bad. Anyway, so yeah, turtling.
So turtling.
Turtle. I think we've all kind of done it. I know at times we did this back in Silver Circle where we kind of like
Oh yeah.
it, just totally like You know what? I'm done with people. People are bad.
Yeah, we bat down
Head
the
in the
hatches,
sand.
especially when
After
crap went south.
every bad drama thing, we would turtle in for a little while and just do quiet little storylines of our own, and then things would settle down, and we would go back out into the community.
Mm-hmm.
You would poke your head back out and start to crawl a little further across the street.
Yeah.
Till the car came by flying
And then you'd be like, whoosh.
Whoop.
Yep.
Yeah, I almost ran over a couple of those little buggers. They've been out and about lately. One of them was a snapping turtle. I don't want to hit him because I'm pretty sure he would ruin my car. Because they're evil. But yeah, the turtling thing, it's got its pluses and minuses. I mean, like Yunfei in the chat, she's saying she's a turtle, but she's afraid of people. And some people, that's why they kind of just they get their little posse, they get their group of people that they know they can trust, and then they just stick with that, and they're like, I'm good, and there's really not a whole lot wrong with that, unless, of course, then the people disappear, and then you're stuck, like, holding, the bag and sitting in the parking lot kicking rocks.
I don't know.
Going, what the hell just happened?
I think you can get very incestuous.
Well, that's what I said. It's not always bad, but...
No, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that it can be very stifling, not just for you, but for the people around you. If you don't RP with anyone but your little group and you ignore everyone else around you,
I see that's it
can be very incestuous and almost stifling for interaction with the other people. Now, it's different if you don't interact with anybody.
Yeah,
if the only time but if you're in a group of people and you only RP with like 4 people and all of their
and it's not because other people aren't trying. You're just like,
right.
No,
You just don't. You don't interact or create stories with anybody but your little insular group, and it's very incestuous. And anytime you need somebody new, you just have them roll a new ult.
Yes.
That gets very
Hey, Jazz.
problem.
You've
What?
said like incestuous 3 or 4 times. Do you want to?
That's what it is.
You want to talk
Do you
about
want
that?
to talk about this?
Jazz, this is a safe place.
Lies.
Have you been watching Game of Thrones a little too often?
No.
The last scene was between a aunt and her cousin or nephew.
I've never watched Game of Thrones, so
There's a lot of sibling boinking.
I heard about that, but I've never
Lot of
watched it.
sibling boinking.
If Khaleesi was my relative,
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Even
I'm
if
just
it's like-
saying
even if it's
it's
like
not right. I'm not sure
Well,
that
I
I'm not
don't
sure that it's
think-
any better that the little guy was watching through the keyhole, going like,
Oh, that's terrifying.
man, jealous.
Cutie.
Well, I think a lot of people like Yunfei and myself, once you've gotten burned really good, you have like some people you trust, and you're like, nope, don't want to go out there. No point staying here with these guys.
Oh, yeah, by the way,
problem is-
GOT
those-
spoiler alerts. Sorry.
the problem is when you do that and then people don't log in as much, then you're stuck. You get no way to
Right.
roleplay it
That
until
was-
they log in.
That's what I was getting at originally. Because
Yeah.
I get it. And usually it doesn't. Some people, they are that personality where that's just they are that way from the start. I know with Yunfei, and I would say probably 90%, probably even more than that, of the people, the reason they start to turtle is because they've been burned, and not just like, oh, my buddy's not, he lost interest in the game or she lost interest in the game and they're not around anymore. No, it's like, oh, my buddy's not playing the game because it turned out that they, had a trunk full of children and they were on their way to my house to collect me as well and then take me off into the forest and wear my skin like a suit in the middle of the night.
Awfully specific.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's kind of scary, babe.
Well, I was going off of that one thing that Yunfei had said. I'm just assuming that was the original course of what that guy that stayed on her couch for 3 months was going to do. Was wear her around the house like a skin suit.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
You skipped you dodged a bullet, Uni. Good for you. So it's a lot. I mean, like Jazz. Jazz was burned by some dude, and Strafe was burned by some chick. I know both of them, so I got 2nd degree burns. I got contact burns.
You did.
I've never had that because I just from the outset hate and don't trust anybody ever. You're all untrustworthy. Not a single one of you, especially that Sib.
What?
I'm pretty sure I have woken to her standing over the bed in the middle of the night, like with a pillow. And she's like, "Oh no! I'm just fluffing it for you. No, go back to sleep."
No. When I wake you up, I always kiss you and say, "Good morning, Sleeping Beauty."
Oh, which by the way, that just is just aggravating as hell. Oh my! Is there for you non-morning people like me? Is there anything worse in the world than being woken up by your spouse or your loved one that's chipper?
I'm a morning person. I'm not
Oh
a night
my
person.
God! I want to.
I don't even turn my radio on driving to work. I'm like in the zone of silence
Yep.
all the way to freaking later.
Oh, I have the news on, and this is my time that I don't. If you call me, there better be a flood.
Okay.
Or a road better be blocked.
This
That's
is a
it.
true story.
Or you better be
Okay.
buying me food.
We had to ride to work because I can't remember whose car was in the shop. But so we get in the car and I start talking and he goes, babe. He's like, just no. He said, "This is my quiet time. I need you to be quiet." So I was like,
My man.
I was like, I love you. I really was. I'm just it was throwing me off my game. I was like, I love you, but I need 15 minutes of silence on the way to work. Just the radio, just listen to the radio. The news guy will tell you all you need to know.
so I was like, okay.
Yeah. It's not personal.
Aw.
It's just I don't want to have to ram this car into a telephone pole and end this conversation because it's where it's where I'm at this early in the morning.
Well, when I was in school, I sadly had one early class. I was very good at not scheduling classes because I'm not a morning person, so I avoided the early morning classes, but I needed one of these classes to graduate, so I had to take an early morning class. And of course, it was at 8 o'clock in the fucking morning, which meant since I live 45 minutes away, I had to get up pretty early to go. And I would crawl into class with my coffee clutched in my hands, and I'd slide into my chair and just kind of glore at the teacher for about an hour while we went through, because his classes were like 3 hours long. So the first hour of class, I was just silent. I wouldn't talk to anybody. Well, this young lady got paired with me for a group project, and so she moved to sit next to me. And my first day on the day of our first time we were going to be paired, she said, goes, "We're partners. I am so happy. You look so cool. What is your name?" Mine. And I swear she said like 30 sentences in 2.5 seconds. And she was chipper and bright. I just looked at her, and the teacher, not me, teacher burst out laughing. Apparently my expression must have been priceless. And I didn't see the teacher laughing. I was just looking at her, and I said, "Honey, honey, 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 honey." She finally shut up. "What? You seem very sweet and you're very cute, but if you say one more cheerful thing to me, I'm going to kill you." and, and she started laughing, and Chan, who'd been in my group before, laughed, and we've been best friends ever since. We were buds all the way through college, for the rest of the 2 years I was in school. But yeah, I'll still tag her. I'll send it to her on Facebook, and every time I get some cheerful thing, I'll send it to her and say, "This is you, Brooke, all you."
No,
You
see,
still-
just no.
I can't help it. I'm just a morning person.
And some people are, but good God.
Anything before 9 a.m. is the devil's hour.
I mean, when I wake up, I literally have to argue with myself on the merits of going to work, making a living, and why I'm getting out of this comfortable bed. Like every morning, it's the same argument.
See, and I have the same thing every time I pass by like a bridge embankment or a ravine or any deep chasm that I could just ram the car right off of on the way to work. Be like, it can't be that bad.
Get some time
Get some
off.
peace and quiet.
Right. And then the coffee kicks in, and then I'm all right. But those first few hours of waking are as close to suicidal as I think I get.
What I'm hearing right now is that he's not happy with his life.
Oh, no,
I'm a
that's
little scared.
Oh, no, it's great.
Oh.
I have this podcast.
There, Ashley.
Also,
You get
I have
beaten as
Voltron.
well.
I don't know if anyone's seen this. This Lego Voltron. This is
Oh,
pretty cool. I love
dude.
this thing. All right, so no, I don't actually get suicidal, but still, I welcome death. But yeah, so turtling.
You're so bad.
I know.
Awesome.
Turtling is awesome.
I
Unless,
would
of
know.
course,
I'm probably the most turtleish turtle out there.
especially when the water's cold. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
What? Dude!
Never mind.
Now that's there
Never
with a
mind.
solid burn. A burn.
Oh no, I think that was a compliment.
I was gonna say that's not really a burn. That just happens to all of us. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you wouldn't know, women.
Yeah. That's one of those greatest Seinfeld episodes.
What are you talking
the water
about?
was cold.
If
The
it's
water
cold,
was
I could
cold.
cut glass with a certain part of my anatomy. So yes, I do understand that.
Prove it.
Oh, I could probably work on that in about 2 months.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get cold. That's where she's
Yeah.
going with that. Because
Yeah.
winter is coming. I said the line from that one show everyone likes.
Oh, dear
gosh.
gosh.
But yeah, usually, and it happens to both individuals, people, and guild, like entire guilds can go into those lockdown, like we were saying, and people, they get a few friends and they, never look for anything beyond it, like we were saying here
And
is,
Sometimes it can be due to the trolling.
yeah,
Yeah. Or because they've been badly burned and they're only comfortable.
Yeah,
with
if they
like
just
stronger
get,
people.
if the trolls in your certain game get bad enough and they're creative enough, it really can kind of destroy it and be like, you know what, like we're, the turtling really, because before the implementation of housing in MMOs, it really wasn't a thing because you were always out in the world. There was no place to hide, But once we got guild halls, once we got housing and things like that, that's when I think turtling really, that you could just duck away in your own little private corner of your video game.
Yep.
And
we all got our
nothing.
Vault-Tec bunkers.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I think it's always been there. It's just it got a lot easier. to
Right.
just
Well, that's what
go
I'm
play
saying. It was
the
there, but like even still, like if you were role playing out in EQ1, there was no.
Yep.
There's no housing. There's no anything. So if you were role-playing, either you had to go out in the middle of nowhere, which still didn't guarantee someone wasn't going to come up on you, but
Yeah.
there was no way to 100% guarantee that nobody was going to interrupt you ever.
There was the days of hushed tones, and all the role players agreed to meet way out in East
Yeah.
Commons and way
Short of-
out by some crazy tree, and then they would not tell anyone. And they would
all you
secure
could
that.
do, the only way you could keep it secret was to do it in tells or do it in group chat. And even then,
Yep.
you're still usually most people, we're role players. We don't just do it like I've seen a few people that do that like it's some sort of weird like alternate pocket dimension where things happen outside of what you're actually doing. Personally, I absolutely despise everything about that because I just can't do it. But outside of that, we always like to have our avatars physically where we're supposed to be at. So that was really, back in the old days, that was it. But, what was it? I think EQ2 really, really, really brought housing into the limelight of what it could possibly be. There were a few that had done it
SWG, but yes.
Yeah, and that was another one. But, in EQ2, well, SWG's problem was that you had to, it was all out in the world itself as well.
Oh yeah.
But
So you still had trolls parading around your guild hall, your house, but
yeah,
you guys were inside. And it was-
and then
it's like the barbarian horde had come upon you.
right, and then in EQ2 it was all instant stuff, so that you could lock people out and still not, you were instant somewhere else, so you still couldn't see them talking through your house walls like you could in like Star Wars Galaxies, or BDO is another one that happens in too, because you don't phase an instance outside of it. But
And like overnight, the Blood Haze Inn died because everybody was hiding.
yeah, well, that and then they bulldozed it to the
Well,
ground.
no, I mean, lots of people still went to the Blood Haze until they added those stupid NPCs, and then after that, they just got rid of the haze. But
Yeah,
up until they put those NPCs in all the places we used to stand that were annoying,
mhm.
everybody used the haze, even after housing came out, because it was just
It
too
was
perfect.
just a good hub. Yeah.
Yeah, but once they removed it, they nuked it, and all RP literally just went underground.
Yeah, and I know that's Final Fantasy 14, you know, their housing is also very good like that. At least, and theirs is closer to the Star Wars Galaxy's way of doing it because it's a finite amount of space, you know, especially if you're on Balmung. God help you, you know, if you've not already been there for ages or you're there the day that they open up a new ward.
Yeah, Ash, and I'm kind of with you, man. 'Cause the pocket dimensions I hate it. But
Yeah,
like,
it's
Star Wars Galaxies, if you're in the world, dude, that's your mountain, and that's freaking awesome.
I like it, and it's got its pluses and minuses. You know, one of
It
the
does.
like the definitely the minus is like what Final Fantasy 14 has, where if you're on the most populated server like Balmung is, you know, like Sib and I, when we went and tried it out, we got to the point where we could get a house, but there was literally nothing available, and it was just no way. It was impossible for new players to get them, and even if you managed, you know, and they open up new wards so sparingly because of, you know, the limitations of the console versions that they have. First it was PS3, now it's the PS4, even though it's far more powerful, but it's an unfortunate limiting factor, or at least that's the excuse Square Enix gives.
That's
Sometimes,
the excuse. I don't really think that's a legitimate reason.
Listening to the Limit Break Radio guys, they would tend to agree with you, Jess.
I know a lot about coding, and I know that's just probably BS.
Yeah, it's a good excuse not to have to do it, but that, you know, they've got a lot of other failings there as well. But I would, if I had to pick between fighting over the housing or instancing, that's where I have to pick instancing, because at least everyone sort of gets what they want at that point. You know, but that doesn't really have any much to do with that. It's just my view of it. But, you know, the housing and stuff like that, that's really where the turtling kind of came, like, you were really able to do it, like, really become super insular and incestuous.
Yeah, but you could exclude anyone that you didn't want around you, so it became very easy to be very insular.
Yeah, and even then, you know, depending on the game, you can always, you know, you can block certain people from it. You can, you know, I would say ESO does not have nearly enough of that, to be honest with you, for housing implementations on who you can and how people can't get to your houses.
I really miss being able to have a lot of people in my house. That is really disturbing to me. I don't understand why they would make that limitation, considering how big guilds are and how, you know, like guild sales and things like that guarantee that you're going to have big guilds.
Can't you though, Jazz? Can't you? I mean,
dead silence.
Can't you? The reason ESO does that has their three different tiers of 6, 12, and 24 is because you notice that the more people it allows, the more expensive that thing you buy with real world money gets. Can't you figure it out, Jazz?
Code it so that they could just offer expansions and people would pay it. They would make money.
Oh, I know. Well, they did that in EQ. EQ2 had that.
Yeah.
Well, that was for housing item limits, but it's the same difference.
Yeah. It's the same difference. You could offer that, and people would buy it, and they would make so much. I would pay $5,000-$6,000, you know, what's it called, crowns, to
I was going to say dollars.
So
Jazz, I thought you said you were broke.
You were poor.
Yeah, well, I would be poorer. That would be for sure.
Now we know where the money's going.
That's right. I told you. But no, you're right, and that's, you know, and that's definitely it.
I bought fingernail polish.
It's almost like a game forcing turtling.
I can't buy anything fun for a month.
I have
just sharing.
Interesting.
Fingernail polish is expensive.
Don't tell me more.
Okay.
So roleplay turtling.
Thank you. I don't know where to go with female male products.
I got your
Timmy
back,
understands.
That's not in my wheelhouse.
Got your back, bro.
But no, yeah, you know, that's it definitely has made it a lot easier to do that kind of stuff. And like we were saying, like with Strafe, that it's just, I don't know that it definitely has some good and some bad qualities to it. You know, and because, you know, once a guild, you know, they could have, you know, once you can go into your own little corner of the world and role play with just those inside, some people, some people have a good reason for it. Like we were saying, they've been burned. The guild's had some really bad interactions with outsiders and things like that. But some, it's just like, nope, this is our world, and it becomes as that's what we.
Well, it comes down to control. I think, honestly.
The crazy ones like Strafe's Psycho, they can control their little group, and it becomes, as Jazz was saying repeatedly, incestuous. Like they keep regurgitating the same stuff over and over. Which, I mean, I guess if they enjoy that, that's all well and good. But typically, what I've seen of this, and I'm just going off of experience, and feel free to tell me if I'm wrong, guys. It ends in tears. Because eventually they get so bored with themselves without realizing why they're doing that they break apart, and
then they switch games,
or then they flood back into the places that they originally fled from.
Yeah,
and somebody with too big of a heart lets them back in every single time.
Oh, jeez, I've seen that episode 5 times.
But
no, you're right, Ashen, because I've seen people worse than the people that you're describing that hit me. The rulers of that guild literally were pretending to be deities. They were not in lore, and it was like you're their way or the highway, and if you didn't agree, then there was the door. Like, it was insane.
Yeah,
like how the turtle mindset like started affecting some of this roleplay stuff.
Yeah, see, I've not heard. Yeah, if you're role playing a deity, yeah, you're definitely insular and not going outside, because you can't take that shit outside of your guild hall at that point. Like, nobody's gonna be like, oh, I will accept this. No, nobody's going to accept that. Nobody's.
And I stumbled upon it because Jazz had set up my tune to be the ambassador of Silver Circle. So I was going around, literally the spy master and the ambassador all in one, making contact with their guilds, meeting their representatives, and I extended the invitation to them. They immediately attacked me. I said, "Oh, we could take you out at any time, this and that." And it's because I had prior RP with this one person that shall not be named. Needless to say, it was insanity. Like, all Ren did was go there and say, "Hi, I'm Ren Stall. I'm the ambassador of Silver Circle. My great matron would love to extend a hand of, friendship, commerce, and perhaps mutual gain." Immediately turned to the bad place, and I went, "Oh, these people are special," and I'm backing away.
We are the gods of the underworld.
And
you
that day,
little mortal.
Let me guess, the word mortal was probably uttered.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
And, their whole deal was, they didn't think Rengas was mortal because of what Jazz's character had done to him, but Ren had the mindset of a mortal. He didn't give a crap. It was a point of defiance that they didn't understand. It was a game. But anyway, I ended up talking sense into the person that got me in that situation, going, "Dude, are you really hanging around these people? They're doing a mass orgy and they're playing gods. What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
And then it kind of clicked in their brain, and I pulled them out of there. It's the one time I saved people that were doing me dirty in the long run, but I was like, "Dude, no.
Yeah.
You got to run from this. This is bad news."
This is how you end up in the middle of nowhere, being worn as a skin suit.
And then you find out your character has a hit on you, but no one takes their RP seriously. So,
right,
what was the point of it all?
Yeah, because that's the thing. When you start roleplay, especially, when you're literally god modding like that, if you bring that outside, man, I don't know anybody in any of the circles I run in that would even be remotely interested in role playing with somebody, even at half that strength of their character. And I know some people that go way over top on how strong or important their people are without doing the groundwork or backing it up. And even that is more realistic than, what you were just saying. Good grief. That's redonkulous.
It was majorly redonkulous, and it was pretty disturbing. I'm like, yep, we're getting out of this special snowflake zone.
Yeah, I sent him a tell and said, "How's it going?" And he just said, "Nope."
Nope.
A month later, they ran off to another game and did exactly what you described before the segment.
Yeah, it either breaks apart or they get bored with doing it in one game and they just transfer over to another.
Yeah,
yes,
move to
that's
a
what they
different
did.
location.
And they try to draw most of those people with them, and I'm like, "Darling, don't go over there. This is what's going to happen. Believe me or not." And she wisely decided to stay and get away from those people.
Strafe, you do not know the strength of the derp side of the force.
The derp side was extremely strong there.
Extremely
It seeped
strong.
it out of every pore.
Another bad thing about turtling is you don't get to meet people. And
boo.
People
And he
suck.
speaks finally.
Kishmas. I wouldn't have got to met you.
That's
It wouldn't have
true.
been.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
you're only proving the good side of this one.
But no,
Yes.
it's nice to meet people, and I mean, granted, you do get some strange ones.
It's
I mean-
yeah, crapshoot.
The purple orc comes to mind. Just saying.
Yeah, well, like I know I met Ericus and EQ2, and we had small RP interactions, and then I bumped into him whenever I came over here with you guys, and he's like one of my favorite people.
Yeah, and
So
he's great.
I just adore him, and I've had so much fun RPing with him. And if I would have just stuck with Ashen basically as my little group, I wouldn't have met
Yeah.
him, or attempted to make a friend.
I had the same story with Caves you did, because he was kind of a smaller role in Silver Circle towards the end of it, and he was playing around with Ren's daughter, who was running the guild at the time, and Ren's whole tagline to him the whole time was, "Don't knock up my daughter. There will be a price to pay." And he would just walk by. Ericus with this grin. Well, when he got into this game, and while my RP got sabotaged, I was looking at people in our guild that didn't get RP at all, and Caves was one of them. I was like, "Frack this! I'm gonna go hang out with Caves. He's a solid dude." And it developed. It was like a tree of RP just grew out of that.
Mhm.
It started
Yeah.
meeting all kinds of other people, and it was, if you never branched out, you would have missed
Yeah.
all of that.
And I'll say something
See,
too.
Kishmas, you got to branch out.
Yeah,
Branch.
No.
I've got two things here. One
Listen.
of them was going to hit Kishmas
Hold
here in
on.
a second.
Let Kishmas talk. He said, "Listen."
Listen.
Listen. But anyway,
Listen.
I don't branch out because of two reasons. I know too much about the RP that goes on in the open, and I know too much about the people that do that RP. I'm not going to go to the tavern and have someone touch his junk. It's just,
Right.
I'm not going to go there and get, harassed either.
But at the
That's
same
just not my
time,
thing.
you kind of have, like, you got so insular with the servants in a way, and just the being an officer and stuff too, that it kind of was that's what was burning you out. And now that you're coming out of that funk, what have you been doing? You've been given you're branching out, and it's people that you kind of know now, like Jazz and Strafay and Sib, but
Yeah.
still they're not part of the people that you knew a year ago.
Yeah.
They're still new people, and you went to the tavern. That's what I was going to say, is that you're actually kind of unturtling yourself, because you're not as burnt out. You're willing to open yourself up, even knowing there's the people that are going to be out there like, "I rub my junk on you," but you've learned now just to ignore it, and those people are fucking stupid.
Yeah,
But
I've developed
still bringing it out.
I've developed quite a sense of mental ignore.
Yeah.
I've gotten pretty good at that. Plus, I have a liberal use of the actual ignore, which helps. But I would never have met Ericus or even you, Ashen, if I hadn't branched out or I wouldn't have met Rengots, because
Heck,
Rengots
I
was
was
a
gonna say,
casual encounter.
I was
Yeah.
in a
It
totally
turned
different
into
guild
something.
with freaking Nilok at the time. You ran through one of our events, and that was, oh gosh, the day of doom, I call it.
That's when he met Vaga. But I mean, Irkus was in a tavern, very quietly sitting off in the corner, and my character was not quiet. And they started talking, and it turned into 2 years of RP, and now 5. So it's 5 years. Lost my
Goes by
train of
quick,
thought.
doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
His RP has adapted to service us.
I mean, he went from Tor, where I met him, to Guild Wars 2, because he followed me there. And then he came to EQ for a while, and then he followed me here. So, and while he still maintains WoW, and that's his primary game that he plays,
That's his
he still
baby.
comes, that's his baby, and that's where most of his roleplay is. I never would have met Ericus and had such good RP with him and had so much fun on our various characters that
If you
I
hadn't
always-
branched out.
yeah, I branched out, and at the time when I was playing Tor, you will remember, Ashen, I was still pretty shell shocked from the drama and trauma, and I really didn't. I just went there to play the game because I thought it sounded fun, and I knew, like, you, Rangots, and you, Ashen, and there was Justin and Mel were there, and Saba was there, and that was it. I didn't know anybody else, and I ended up stumbling into 5 different guilds over the course of the 2 years that I played, and a whole bunch of roleplay. So, yeah, it's hard, and I was scared that I was going to meet another psycho.
Right.
But yeah, it was really worth it because I met such cool people like Ashen and like Kishmas here. I never would have met Kishmas if I hadn't been willing to
If I
take
had
a chance on an angry dark elf.
Yeah, told you, come on, try the servants thing. It's something new for you. You'll probably have fun. Yep. One other thing too, the other thing outside of Kishmas kind of coming out of his shell a little bit more, is the other thing with Zib. Her and I actually, we don't role play all that much anymore together. She's the majority of the time she's out role playing. She's with Strafe or Caves or Jazz or off with the other guild. Or she's off in servants doing something with Ralds or Maris, or we actually don't.
The clergy.
Yeah, we don't role play as much together all the time like when we first did, and it's not by accident. It took us a little bit to get more comfortable with each other and get to know, as relationships did. Like I said, we both got burned by divorces where our spouses cheated on us. Mine used the internet to do it, so it was doubly, not so great. And that took a while to get over. But by hope and design, there's nothing I like more than when I'm over here not playing I'm playing off Evil Within 2, and I hear her over there on the other side of the window going because she's over there role playing and something made her giggle, or I'll be out there watching TV for because I'm just kind of burnt out and just want to chillax, and she's in here role playing all on her own. She doesn't. When we first started doing this, we kind of turtled together because it was, we were still getting to know each other. I was still introducing her to the online gaming and all that. And, we had some head bumping of things like that because, we always felt the need to, if one of us was on, that the other one had to be on as well, and we all had to be together at all times, no matter what, and if one of us had something else planned, the other one might get a little upset or feel bad or feel left out, and it was a point of contention for a while, to be honest with you. But now, we've grown closer and closer together. I'm not worried about her, she's not worried about me. And, so there's nothing that makes me happier than when I know she's in there having a good time, having her role play stuff, and she's, she doesn't need me to have fun with that anymore. She doesn't need the, my umbrella, or as there was a point for some time that she's like, they only talked and role play with me because of you.
Yeah.
Which, what have you come to realize since, now that you're more experienced, what have you come to realize?
That part of it was true, but part of it's not.
Right, that might be why they give you the chance.
I only met them through you, but they didn't role play with me just because of you. They role played.
You were interesting, and we wanted to learn more about your character.
Yeah.
Right. I made the introduction, but she's like, we've all learned. Nobody role plays with another person because someone's like, you need to role play with this person, or like you feel some sort of nobody. I don't know anybody that really feels a commitment to role playing with somebody because they were introduced to them by somebody else.
Well, nobody's sane anyway.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. Like I said, people might get that way after they know somebody where they feel like they're locked into doing that, but that's a totally different topic. But just being, it's like being introduced to friends. Like, just because, like, my friends have introduced me to their friends, and I'm like, your friend's a fucking dick. I'm not gonna ever talk to them again. They're an asshole,
It happens.
Yeah.
So, but and she's learned since then that nobody role played with her had anything to do with any of my anything to do with me. I may have been like, hey, here's this world, and here's these people that I know, like Jazz and Strafe, and then she was like, but it was a newbie thing. But people
don't
were
feed
like,
the spider after dark because he grows 8 legs.
Right.
I wanted to comment too on what Kishmas had said about being in a tavern and people touching,
rubbing
the junk.
the junk all over you.
And that is very discouraging, and that can cause people to turtle. I mean, honestly, I've been more open to RP, like go up to the Riften to RP in the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you do meet those people that will come up to you and just it's like, oh, hey, baby, just want to run for the hills.
Hey, you're so pretty. Will you be my friend?
Yeah,
You're so good. Like, I have no friends.
but
All right, but if there's any
It's-
girls there, I want to do them.
but then there's also you meet the people that are really super nice, and I mean, like, example, I met Terminal at he was at the tea house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And-
just some random event.
Yeah.
That Kitty does over at
Yeah.
Kitty's.
But you know, he's turned out to be just this really laid back RPer, and I've had so much fun doing RP with him. I mean, it's nothing, there's no stress, there's no, it's all just kind of like whatever happens. It's not scripted. We just like we'll go out, and he's like, you want to go on a guar ride? And I'm like, sure. So we'll take our characters out and go on a guar ride. Whatever happens. It's just fun RP. But there are those people out there that will try to rub their junk on you, and it's for me, for a long time, I had to get over that when I first started, because I was like, oh my God. Honestly, for a long time, I thought RPers just want to ERP.
They only
That's all
want
they
one
want.
thing, and it's disgusting.
And you're not wrong for a great large majority of them.
Right.
Yeah,
Ignore
but
is
then
your
I
friend.
But it's
realized-
not all of them.
I realized getting into the servants a lot more, it's not that way, because I don't think I've ever been hit on. Any of my characters have been hit on in the servants. Well, till Kizdian came along.
Right, Kiz, there was that Kizdian,
Well,
that shirtless freak.
But that for the most part, it's very structured. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not like what I was actually kind of panicked, because every time I go somewhere new and try to RP, I get a little panicky, because I'm like, please don't hit on me. Please don't make it that way, because I don't enjoy that. I would rather have conversations and get to know people than
Yeah. How
the-
Ashen sold it
Hey,
was,
baby, how's it going?
yeah.
Run away.
How Ashen sold the servants to me was, dude, they're militaristic. They hang out. We have lots of good open conversation down in the mess hall. You get away from the ridiculous you're used to that followed you from EQ2. It'll be great.
Yeah,
He was
and no
right.
vampires or werewolves allowed.
And no vampire.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it is so glorious. You the man, Ashen.
And it's fun.
It's
laid
got its
back.
downsides. Every guild does. Nothing's
Yeah.
ever perfect. Unfortunately, anything with humans involved in it is going to have flaws and
Yeah.
drama and things like that. But they all have their pluses and minuses.
I've realized roleplay just comes with drama, and it's either going to be good drama or it's going to be bad drama.
Yeah.
And there's always the trolls and the idiots and the
Mhm.
sex fiends, and all you can do is either slash ignore or put them on a mental ignore,
So,
because nobody has a right to affect your role play in any way that you don't agree to. So just keep that up.
a couple days ago, I was in Skyrim doing some, external RP, trying to get to know some characters better so I can, use it to my advantage in the future. I was questioning this one Breton, another Breton comes along, and then a naked Bosmer, then another Argonian, Khajiit, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I don't want this. So I just upped and left, because I'm not, if I'm doing one-on-one RP and someone else comes over, cool. But if you come over naked, that's not cool.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's hard
But
to
a lot
find-
of those people that do that are trolls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just got to ignore them.
they were actually
It's-
RPing.
Well,
Really?
Yeah.
Well, as Jazz pointed out
Yeah.
to me, Kishmas, here a while back, she noticed that the trolls in ESO actually have been like RPing, but it's like trash RP. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
they do it almost
they do it-
intentionally.
Yeah,
they're
dark.
they're role playing, but it's role play that's trash. They're just doing it for attention and for
yeah.
to be disgusting and to piss people off and chase people off. That's
Yeah.
their whole goal. That's
Yeah.
all they want to
And
do.
they're
And so
just
they
12
show
years
up
old, and
naked and they'll start dancing on the table, but they'll be role playing while they do it, sort of.
They'll,
But-
quote unquote.
But I just put them on ignore. I don't allow that kind of stuff. So I either put it on auto ignore or I put it on mental ignore, because I don't respond to that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to let anybody chase me off.
Well, Jazz,
I'm there to
12.
meet people.
I
They're
don't
12
think they were trolls, though. Because
and
they
they're
were
doing it for the
RPing at
lulz.
another table. kind of serious, and Raj went over to the opposite table on the balcony. Someone came over, then they started talking to me. Then more people started coming. Then a naked Bosmer came. Was like, "Oh, you want to play the loot?"
Yeah,
I don't think it was a troll.
Yeah, those are trolls.
those
Those
are
are
still
not trolls.
just because they
Those are
roleplay
trolls.
doesn't mean that they're not trolls. That's
But
the
they
thing.
were having like some serious conversation on the other
They-
side.
Yeah.
They do, and the minute that they sense that there is something going on that they can disrupt, they shift and they start being
Mhm.
assholes.
Yeah, there's
And
there's
they're
a
still
different
trolls.
kind of troll in
It's
ESO
like
I've noticed. Yeah.
Different levels.
They're very
of RP.
committed to it, but they'll
I have never come across this kind of trolling
I
where
think it's just
they
a
half
new
RP.
I think it's just the new generations coming up. The
Yeah,
So,
younger
that's a
players
great-
and things like that. But
So trolls, that's a great topic. So RP turtling.
but
no, it's a reason why people do RP.
It is
turtle.
why people turtle, and it is important to address it because I
Oh,
think
I know. I'm just
I
saying.
mean, I talked to a guy that was there in Riften, was getting really upset, and was talking silly with some chick who was dancing naked next to him, was saying, "I don't enjoy this. Please stop doing this." And I sent him a tell, and I said, "Dude, that's a troll." He says, "No, she's role playing. She's still a troll. Stop talking to her because that's what she wants." So he finally put her on ignore and started talking to somebody else like she wasn't there. And she immediately hopped down and started doing it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Because that's all she wanted was somebody to interact with her and give notice. They have sex on the bar. They do all kinds of stuff, and you just ignore them like they're not there.
Frustrating
Yeah.
because it's got me a couple of times because I've went over there and
Yeah.
I start
Yeah, I've started
my
role playing with a
emotes
few
and
of them too.
talking to somebody, and then next thing I know, I'm like, "What are they doing?"
Yeah.
Yes, and there's a reason why I have 99 people on ignore. These
Is
are
that,
not people that are just outright trolls. Lots of them are people that actually kind of half roleplay. But I
Jazz and I-
refuse to be trolled by someone because they're in a bad mood.
Jazz and I were in the freaking Riften pub one night, and this high elf with some major booties, like rocking around, like talking smack, and just skinny little like Bosmer dude following around. And the minute you talk to him, he would come up your face. What are you saying? Like, are you serious? You're this bored?
Yeah.
And then they started like dancing around, having sex on the bar, and just being stupid. I'm like, wow,
Mhm.
that is a whole new. Like you're dedicating time just to try to jack with people. Like, do you have nothing better to do? It's
Yeah,
insane.
they do. They have. That's what they do on their off time is to come there and chat with our peers. And the moment they see our peers, and they're at this point because I don't respond to them the way that they want. They've actually rolled Tune's name Cial to counter me,
Well,
which
okay.
I take as a flattering thing that I finally pissed them off.
Here's a prime example. I bumped into a Argonian twice, and I RP'd with him a little
Hondurian?
bit. No, not Hondurian. That's good. But he was at Riften, and I was up there just RPing, and he seemed really cool. I was like, okay, cool. You know, RP went good. And he invited me to one of their events. And I was like, okay, sweet. It was mainly Argonians and Khajiit. When I got there, and I'm like, okay, I feel kind of left out because I don't have a tail.
That.
You
Well,
got a
next
furry
thing-
party.
Yeah, next furry and skellies. Next thing I know, they're getting drunk, doing the drunk emotes, and running around butt naked. And I have a feeling this one Khajiit was new to the party too, because me and her start backing towards the door, like, well, I think it's time for us to go.
Yeah.
It was not my cup of tea, but I mean, Kishmas, they were RPing.
They're role
and they were
players.
serious about it, but it was not. I was like, dude, that's not my cup of, RP. I'm just gonna have to pass. But thanks. But at first, everything was cool. I couldn't tell
Yeah.
until I went to the event, and then I was like, no.
It'll definitely make you turtle, that kind of crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, we'll finish up with the bad, and then we'll go to the good side of the Force. Like Jazz had said, shit can get stale. People get lazy, forget how to create new things. Kidnappings are up across the board.
Kidnappings.
Oh gosh.
But conflicts of personality that just keep smashing together for drama. usually there ends up being it's a power struggle of some kind. When you get no new blood, no new ideas, no new personalities, it's the same. It just ends up being the same thing over and over again. Like Jazz was saying too, they'll instead of trying to find new people to roleplay with, they'll just roll a new alt or like an NPC alt, and then that's the new blood. But unfortunately, it's still played by the same person who typically ends up creating. You know, we as diverse and crazy as we are. We can really only roleplay so many different variations of our own personality. It's pretty hard for a lot of people to roleplay as something that they have no experience with. Like we've said, you roleplay what you know. You know, you teach what you know. You put out there the things that you're aware of as you are as an individual, which is why you get such a diverse view of we got 5 different people here. Every single one of us have different views on everything. Mm-hmm. But, even though we all enjoy the same hobbies, so when you're just, but if it was just the 5 of us role-playing with each other over and over and over again, and like, hey, I want to try something new, and we create a new character, it's going to be a variation on the theme of the things that we've already done still, unless we're completely ripping off something else and bringing that in, and even then, it's probably something you're already interested in, a variation on a theme that you've already ran over, which is why I say kidnappings, because that seems to be a very popular one to try to get things going.
Please, somebody needs to explain to me why that is. I don't even find them interesting. I don't get it. Why is it such a draw?
It's an attention grab from that person,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what the deal is.
Yeah, there can be legitimate...
Just attention.
Yeah, there can be legitimate things to it, but the problem tends to be where it's like... For one, it happens far too often, and 2, that typically the reasoning behind it is just
I say there has to be a story. You have to
Right.
get a story for it to be like. Right now, I'm working on a story for my main in Alanu, and the story, it's from her past, and I'm slowly building it. I'm not like rushing into it. It's like, oh, she's been kidnapped. No, it's going to be a whole plot line. Right. And I think that's where a lot of people, have problems is whenever it's just like, oh, I'm kidnapped.
I'm kidnapped because they're gonna kill me if you don't pay them. And that like the ransom thing, that's silly. Like if somebody, I would think compelling story is where somebody like kidnaps them in order to keep them, bring like if that somebody ran away from their home and they got found finally and they're drugged back into the world that they tried to run from. That would be kind of an interesting kidnap theme, because then of course they're still found.
I actually did one. And it was guild story wise. I had gotten Nartiris, which was the spy/assassin branch of Silver Circle that Silver Circle rules did not apply in, so naturally she gave it to Ren. I had not enough people, and I had built a secret guild hall. We had done this all in secret because we were trying to impress Jazz's character. And during the meeting, I had myself and my 3 goons flank her on the stage during the whole meeting. And towards the end of the meeting, she said, "Any questions?" And everyone said no. And before she could say, "All right, meeting adjourned," Trath had his wizard open a portal and yanked the matron out of their own guild hall to our guild hall just to see how the guild hall would react, like the people in Silver Circle would react. They flipped out.
Oh, yeah, it was funny.
They thought we kidnapped the boss, and it was great because then...
Vaca was so mad at him.
And we did it to prove a point.
What
We're like, look,
you doing?
You think you think you feel so safe in your own guild hall. We just showed you can be pulled right out of your own house.
Yeah.
Be glad we don't put you in the icebox.
After that, Vaca made words that couldn't happen again.
Yeah, and then she had to go and smooth it over the guild because they were after our heads. And she's like, no. They work for me.
It was a training exercise. Everybody get the blood out of your eyes.
Yeah, but if you do it and include people like that, and you do it to prove a point, that's fun. That's one thing. Not just, I've been, kidnapped by Derphead McGee.
I have been kidnapped. Come and save me. I don't know where I should do.
And the very next day, I am the god of the underworld. I am the most powerful. Okay. Were you just kidnapped and tied up with hemp?
Yes. See, Silver Circle had to have rules about that stuff. That's how bad it got.
Yeah.
We actually had rules that said if you are leaving on vacation, you have to take a couple of days off, regardless of what the reason is that you're not going to be in game. You are above all else not allowed to arrange for your kidnapping.
Because there's nothing we can do about it. Yeah.
We can't do anything about it till you get back. It's ridiculous for you to expect us to create a story while you're gone. It just creates a situation where everybody basically does all the work, and then we just wait for you to come back, which makes no sense for a kid like that. So we had that. And we also
worse,
said
that we do all that, and they're like, oh, at the first we were like, oh, it's so concerning, and then you come back and you're like, I freed myself. Well, that was a big fucking waste of a week.
Right. So we passed rules that you couldn't do that, and anybody that did it would just be ignored. The other rule was that you couldn't continually get kidnapped and then expect to remain in the military, because we had a branch of people that had to be protected. So if you got kidnapped more than 3 times in 1 year. In real life,
you've proven that you're not.
You can't be in the military. Thus, you're going to have to be in the protected class and be a craftsman or something. And boy, we lost 4 or 5 people in that year who left the guild in a rage because we demoted them to resident so that they could be protected. Because, as Vaca told them to their face in front when they were brought in and they were rescued and they were brought in, oh, thank you for saving me. Congratulations, you're now a resident.
Yeah, you're incapable of actually defending yourself, let alone others. So we're gonna have to defend you for you.
Resident derpheads.
But so
I'm gonna say that it's all cool and dandy to be the damsel in distress, but with times changing, it's no longer that cool.
It does.
During one storyline, I think it was Saren's, where Raj was captured during a prison break riot type thing. Even I was like, maybe I don't want to do this because this is kind of dumb, and it's all spotlighted, and I don't like the spotlight.
Yeah,
I will say that was a fun event though, because it was something. It was different. I mean,
it also wasn't by you. That's typically most
commander.
of the kidnapping ones do that.
To me, I had fun with that. I will say I enjoyed that. Even though I was like dead ass tired, and I was like, as soon as it was done, I was like, I gotta go.
Night.
I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to be the healer, but I gotta go.
Heal yourself. God helps those who help themselves. Start now.
Yeah, and like Ashton said, that wasn't. She didn't get kidnapped. You got kidnapped. So
yeah.
I didn't think it was bad.
Yeah, if it had a proper,
it only becomes a problem if it becomes
like that's a hostage. That one there, that the reason I would kind of think that one's neat is
that was hostage.
It was a
wasn't
hostage situation, not so much kidnapping, and that's
not quite the same thing.
Yeah, because they were trying to like bargain and get their way out of there by having a somebody high up in the command structure. That one is at least a compelling, interesting story. I wasn't part of that because I think I was playing Zelda at the time.
Yeah, he was lost to Zelda.
Yeah, I was gone. Which, by the way, I beat, and it was awesome. And it was everything I ever wanted in a Zelda game. It was awesome. But so with the good stuff here, like some of the good reasons, people might do it. It does usually it has a lot less drama.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to have like a great deal of other guild egos to deal with. You don't have to sparse that my side's more powerful than your side, that kind of stuff. You
get to run rough over all of the other people that you RP with, and you get to have your own story, right? Is that how it goes?
No,
that's the good thing.
These are the good reasons, not the asshole reasons.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
So, and one of the other things, you could have more compelling and intricate stories. Sometimes you can't do that if you're, just constantly throwing yourself out there with different people willy-nilly. It's hard to have a really intricate and personal story if you don't have a somewhat insular group, or at least a group of friends. You don't have to have this as necessarily turtling, but typically, maybe for the time period of that story, you kind of do it temporarily, just so that you guys can do your story and move on with it. Another thing is that the people involved. Like, it's comforting. I mean, you do know them, you can trust them. Like, there are certain things Jazz and Strafe and all of us, we've all done because we know and we trust each other. Things that if it was a complete stranger, we would never allow at all.
That's right.
And that it is definitely a benefit to it. We know each other's stories. We know how each of us role plays. We know how, Jazz, how fast we type. We know their interest. We know their personalities. Like, we all here know each other well enough at this point. We know, I can always tell when, Strafe's having a bad time of it for his week or something like that, or if something's, or Jazz if she's got something going on and she's stressed out, or Kishmis if he's, has no computer because he's not around.
Yeah, funny.
So happy.
Funny.
We're happy you're back.
He's still a little sour on that one. It was only $1,000, but hey, it works, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
ouch.
Yeah.
Pretty much built a whole new system.
For a stupid graphics card because your monitor's stuff was
NVIDIA.
dumbass. Not you, the stuff. But it really is. It's kind of a balancing act when being insular and being in your own little shell and keeping to your own little corner. There's, if you take it's like anything. It's in moderation. You can't take, you can't constantly be at the bar every single day. You're meeting new people all the time because that will get stale.
It will
and
drive
boring.
you insane.
Yeah, it'll get stale and boring, and you'll meet you're always interacting with the, the trolls and the assholes and things like that. But at the same time, you can't keep, circle jerking with the 3 people over and over and over again until, like, you guys are just covered
Sick
in
of
it.
each other. Yeah. That's gross. That's really
Why gross?
I'm like disgusted now. You're gonna make me vomit. That wasn't cool.
Oh, that's why it was funny.
I will say, but look at Jazz, Ren, and you. How long have you guys been RPing, and you guys are still RPing? So does it really get old? I mean,
well, the reason,
but we went through years where we didn't role play together much at all.
So you
Well,
guys did
so-
okay.
well, and there's
'Cause I was
the other
like-
thing is, I'll answer that differently. The reason is because we're also not role playing with just each other. New people
well,
have
that's
come
true.
in and out, which adds, that helps. Because if it was just the 3 of us, we'd have been through every fucking idea we had by now and rehashing it for probably the 15th time. But when you have, but we don't keep so insular as just like a trio or something like that.
That's true.
In fact, you
Okay.
role play with them more now than I do. I mean, really,
Well, yeah.
True.
but the fact is you've brought in, you have Caves, you've got others in the guilds, both guilds on different characters.
Trying to get Uni in as well.
Yeah. And you're not, we never properly turtled or went underground like that.
That's true.
Because we're
Okay.
always bringing in new blood. We're open enough to be, and we're not elitists, and our roleplay is all that there is. We're always willing to be like, yeah, sure, let's try that.
It also helps that the 3 of us, well, the 4 of us now, 5 with Kishmis, are all quality role players in general.
Mhm.
And even if we do to jump to different games, like when I first went to Age of Conan with Jazz to take a break from EQ2, like Ash's character would have, I never talked to his character. He never had anything to do with freaking my tune there. So
Even though in EQ2 we were like,
I knew
we
it was
were
him. I
always
knew it was
RPing.
him, but we never had a chance to RP with the dude. And even if he was a super sneaky guy, and he didn't have the time of day for the common trooper. So there are games that you'll hang out, and there's games that you're adversaries, and then there's games that you don't even talk. Period.
Yeah.
And then there were games like where I never played Rift, and you guys went off to Rift, and so we took like a year and a half, and
Very,
you left.
very short
and you
period
had
of
your
time.
Yeah, we had your character die, and my character moved on, but we remained friends.
Yep.
And we still talk now and then, and it was, I think
that was like
that's
almost a
more
2-year
important.
span where we didn't play the
Yeah.
same game together until
But we still checked in
until
and
till SWOTOR, I think. I
Yeah,
think that was when we all
you came to-
reconnected.
Yeah, you came to Tor, and I was already there. And
No. I
Yeah.
was there day one. I was in Tor
Oh,
from
were
day
you?
one. Oh,
So was I.
It's fucking Star
was I.
Wars. Of course
It
I was there
I
day
was there.
one.
I was there opening day. I played beta, but I just don't think we realized we were both playing.
No,
the game.
I think
Maybe
we
that
did. We were
was
just.
it.
I think it took us a while to be like we wanted to play the game, and get to,
Yeah.
play the
Yeah.
game.
And I was
I
a Neolithic
played-
Jedi Knight, and like you guys were all on the other side, so I had no freaking role play.
Yeah, 'cause-
Yeah.
It sucked.
And
yeah.
I pretty much played with, that's where I met Ericus. But I was playing when Saba had time to play. I was playing with him, and I originally played with him, and then I forget what happened. I think he got a night job or something. He couldn't play anymore, so I kind of had to branch out on my own. And then I connected. We went to that other server, and I had the what's her face? Oh God, what was her name? Ruby. I made
Yeah.
Ruby.
No, we were actually we started out together because I remember.
Did we do that?
Yeah, we did.
I remember Ruby. I remember we did something with Ruby,
Yeah,
and then
because
I went
my first
to
character,
Ebonheart.
my very first the
Not
Xanatos, the
Ebonheart,
Dark Elf
Evan,
one,
or
or not
whatever it was
Dark Elf,
called.
but the Sith one. He came around later, but my first one
Yeah.
was the Jedi, and you had the smuggler chick. You know, and
That's right. Yeah, we did that first.
Yeah, that was the first one, and it was fun. But then we kind of switched over to the dark side, and that's I think that's what we were thinking of was first.
Yeah, maybe that's where I was.
The
getting
light side one
confused.
was a little light side at first, but
We tried.
yeah,
We tried. I played beta with her.
yeah.
That's right. I
did
played
love
beta
the
You
with
Jedi
her.
go where the
storyline.
dark RP is,
Mhm.
Jazz.
Yes, and then I made my Sith, and it was
Yeah.
I never looked back.
So Ed,
See, I tried, and I made a just sniper because I was like, dude, Grand Admiral Thrawn's the best. But I couldn't get into it over there, and I had more fun playing my Jedi Knight. I was so sick of playing Ren, and that was why. I was like, I've already played the bad guy. I'm sick of playing the freaking Sith Lord.
Right.
And now it's a game full of Sith Lords. Like, oh goodness, I'm gonna go play a blind Jedi Master.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So, we've already done kind of why people would do that. Defensive measures, lunatics, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, we already hit all those topics. So, lastly, how do you break out of it? You know, if you've really, really, really gone underground. Honestly, if it's because of, you know, a betrayal or some drama and things like that, it honestly, time. I mean, really,
That's it.
time is about it. You eventually, you go to your little group of friends and things like that, and you kind of insulate yourself. But eventually, you do start to, either you're going to end up quitting the game, which is also a very real possibility. You know, if you've gone that deep and things start to get boring and stale. I've seen that happen to a lot of people where they get hurt, then they try to turtle in. That gets even more boring. It cuts them off even further. And then they're gone because, and that's the end of that. So with some time, if they have good friends around them, people that are always try to encourage them to like, no, come on over to this thing. Eventually you can pull out of that, but whatever caused it, to start with, whatever the reason is, you have to work through it, or by someone, pointing out as a guild that, that the guild's policy has become very insulated and very, very cut off. And then you have to kind of make a policy change. Like, all right, guys, we realize that this has all happened here, but we really, I've seen that it happens. I think the Servants of the Temple have had that happen. The Silver Circle has had that happen. Spectre Cartel had that happen. It just happens. Anytime there's big guild roleplay interactions and it goes south, the guild tends to kind of close down a little bit, and slowly over time they'll open back up as they get their shit back together and things like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But it takes baby steps, and it takes like a lot of this stuff. It takes you having to really, really look at it and be like, oh shit, we haven't done anything new in because time. I mean, I don't know if it's just me, man. Time passes way faster than it feels like it should. I'll be like, oh, I should run an event. But I only did one a week. Oh, holy shit, that was a month and a half ago.
Yes.
What helped me out was
it
Jazz
just goes
making my
so
tune,
fast.
making Ren an ambassador. And literally, I met people in the guild. You guys ended up being in the second time around. And then I'd go around and with her to big events like the slave market, just to see what the other guilds were. And then Vodka would say, "Okay, go establish contact." And so I had contacts in all these other guilds, and sometimes you'd see them at guild events.
wrong button.
Or tavern events, and it was cool because he knew all these other people now. They were all ambassadors that were my liaison guy, who would then branch open other RP to other people to come hang out with us, and it was good.
And another good thing about turtling with your group is, like, with me, I've not ever had like different kind of RP. I mean, basically my RP's been guild and just chatting RP, but like I know I've got Voli in a relationship with Trithalis, which is one of Strafe's characters, and then I've got Ninth, who is in a relationship with Tervis, and it's, to me, I'm only doing that because I'm comfortable with you guys. So, that's one thing with turtling. If you're comfortable, it opens different types of RP.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, and
No, it does.
yeah. And Faye, the chat said sometimes people just feel like more intimate, not sexy time intimate. RP is more fulfilling. And that is true. Like I love one-on-one role play and things like that, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're being, you're turtling or being insular. That's, just going off every now and then and role playing one-on-one with people here and there and things like that. That's not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just it just happens, But if that's all like what I'm saying, and if it goes by months, weeks and months of that's it. That's literally all that you guys log in, and that's all there is. That's when it typically starts to get unhealthy and go to a sour. It gets sour.
Mm-hmm.
And I suspect that's probably why I have an aversion to it. I don't one-on-one RP with most people. I just don't. I'm not talking about sexy time either. I'm talking about I've had lots of people who try to initiate roleplay with me and they try to drag me off into a corner so it's just me and them, or they try to say, well, I'll come over and visit her at her house. When do you have time for that? I don't know. Whenever I'm here, come to the bar. No, I don't go to the bar. Well, then we're probably not going to have much of a conversation because I pretty much only do group RP.
Case in
point.
point.
I do think it comes from being so burned. I actually took the opposite route, which is I'm not doing one-on-one RP for the most part unless I know you.
Case in point, last night, Sia and Joris came over to Trass to discuss this whole, just to visit him, but it turned into, why aren't you walking yet? That whole thing she described earlier. Well, a new role player that's interested in role playing with Trath and hang out with us, is sending me tells like, hey, can I drop by your place? And I'm like, yeah, I'm hanging out with OC. I'm hanging out with Sia and her husband. You should totally come over. Oh, well, I'll come back a different time. I told her no to show up. So she shows up, and maybe she's shy. I give her the benefit of the doubt. But like she's hanging out in the front, waiting for them to go away because she doesn't want to come up. And I finally just marched my character up the hall and said, I see you're there. What are you doing down there? Come here this instant. And then she flipped out and like ran outside because she wanted the one-on-one RP and she didn't get it. And I was like, no, dude, you can't. You must. That's going to get stale really quick. You need to come in and role play with other people. That way you have other branches. You don't box yourself into this tiny little corner and then you're hating it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But it's just being insular like that to that extent. It might be more more of a time scale thing even. Yeah.
And it's also people who can't read very fast who get quickly overwhelmed by text. Now, see, I read and type stupidly fast, so being in a group of 40 people doesn't bother me because I can keep up.
And see, I'm more comfortable. I'm learning how to be more comfortable in like open, like tavern RP or guild RP events, but it still is tough on me, and I'm more apt to like find somebody that's willing to just chat one-on-one.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I tell people that all the time. I don't like one-on-one RP much, but if that's your thing, 100% okay, and I'll try to accommodate you as best I can. But I largely don't. And that was one of the things when I got into a relationship with Sia with Sejoris. Oh, Celia, I told him the one-on-one thing isn't going to happen much, and you need to understand that up front. That if you're looking for that, close, the close, intimate. A lot of people like relationship RP because it's one-on-one. It's just them in a house, not necessarily the ERP. I'm talking about just being intimate and getting very close and becoming friends and talking and that sort of thing. If that's what you're looking for, I'm really going to be a terrible RP partner. And you need to know that up front because you're primarily going to find all my characters in a group somewhere. So
I'll say.
Yeah.
I call BS on that because you loved hanging out with Ren back in the day.
Well, that was back in the day.
That was back in the day before I got so burned on that other crap. After the whole
it was actually
thing,
Vaca's freaking exercise hour in her tower. And then she would just freaking want to talk to Ren because it was more like it was more of a complaining to her guard, and her guard would give her some wisdom. She didn't like the wisdom, so she threw something at him.
At the same time, I didn't do that much with anyone else ever. You were probably the first one that I did that with.
Yeah, I know we had a lot of one-on-one stuff, things like that, but yeah, for the most part, she really
even Xanis and I didn't do much one-on-one at all.
Yeah, every now and then. When she
We'd
wasn't trying to
but...
boink him.
Well, Vaca did do that a lot, but yeah.
Especially the first time they met. But
yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think that about hits everything. Anyone have any final words?
Words.
Turtling isn't bad, but it can be if it becomes the only thing that you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything.
Moderation is important. Yeah.
My words, don't suggest. Do turtling.
Turtling's the best. Everybody should turtle.
We know who our turtle is.
As Sib said last time, you can paint yourself in a corner, and then when those people do something truly crappy and then leave, then all your RP's gone, and you don't want that.
Indeed.
Well, not necessarily crappy. Maybe they just can't play anymore. I mean, then what do you do?
Yeah, and then you're left out on your ear, and I don't know how many times we've tried to help people through the person I was role playing with, and the center of my character isn't able to play anymore, or they've gone, or they've disappeared. Take your pick, and I don't know how to get out of it. I mean, I couldn't. I don't have enough fingers and toes to tell you how many times I've tried to help people get out of that situation, and largely, it's really not that difficult. It's just their own mental block that keeps them. I mean, it's role play. You literally can make up any reason.
Yeah, I watched this girl's head explode because I said, "Why do the two of you have to break up?"
Yeah.
Because what do you mean? He doesn't play anymore, so he's at home and you're here.
Yeah.
Why do you have to break up? Just live happily ever after and live your own character's life.
Yeah.
Well, then she never gets to have a relationship. Well, if that's your focus, then there you go.
You don't get to have a relationship. She's still in one.
Your character is perfectly happy with this guy, so
I have
my.
One little thing to add to this.
Ooh.
With me coming out of my shell, I have learned that I have more role play than I can keep up with. And there are a lot of people that have, asked me to role play, and I feel horrible because I'm like, okay, let me see what I've got going on this night and this night. And then I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm busy. I've got events scheduled. And I hate it because I feel like now that I've come out, I miss so much RP that I can't keep up with it. And then, it's like, holy cow, who would have thought, you could be this busy?
Who would have thunk it?
Yeah, because I've met people that I really like to just hang out with. And, it's like, okay, are you busy? And then trying to match up with their schedule, it's really like, holy crap. But as I've told everybody that I've met recently and tried to RP with, I'm super busy. I have a real life. Have 2 kids. I love to RP. I don't want you to feel like I don't, but be patient with me because eventually I will get to the RP. Yeah. And it may take me a week or 2, but I will get to that RP. So just be patient with people. RP doesn't have to happen right
immediately.
Now. Yeah.
And most good stories, you don't want it to.
No, you don't want it to be over in a week.
Yeah. So just be patient and enjoy it.
Yep.
So that's my little.
Or not, let her float your boat.
Hey, I'm gonna float my boat over to you. Blow it up.
Whatever generates your Mass Effect field.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. Well, I appreciate appreciate everybody tuning in to us for our 56th episode. Go ahead and shut this thing down. Again, thanks everybody for listening over at twitch.tv/RPM Radio.
Thank you. Night.
Hit us up over on our Discord, rpmradio.com/Discord, or rpmradio.com if you're just looking for any information on us, some of which is still not up to date, but that's because reasons and laziness, largely. So thanks everybody. Appreciate every single one of us. Appreciate every single one of us for showing up. That's not actually how I meant to say that. But I do appreciate my crew being here. Ashton Phoenix, myself, Jazz, Kishmas, Sib, Strafay, everybody that tuned in and listened, our call screener, Rahanar, and our moderator who moderated the shit out of this show, Yunfei. So with that, tune in next time when we see if halflings are a suitable replacement for the turtle part of turtle soup. Next time on RPMMO Radio. Good night, everybody. The thoughts and opinions of those on RPMMO Radio are just that and should not be taken as the gospel truth, but pretty close to it. Music is provided by Husky by the Geek. Visit him at youtube.com/HuskyByTheGeek to hear all his great video game rut covers and original music.